Hi everyone, it's Jimmy. Today I'm going to talk to you about these old snowboards right here. I'm going to tell you how it is that I got into collecting, and I'm going to tell you why I love collecting these old boards. So let's get the video started. Collecting snowboards is a passion of mine. I've been doing it for a couple of years now. I'm still kind of considered a new collector because there are people out there that have been doing it for 20 plus years. I'm really happy with some of the boards I've accumulated over the last couple of years, and I hope to collect more. The cool thing about collecting snowboards is that you can go in whatever direction you want. If you want to collect all Sims boards, you can do that. If you want to collect burn boards, some people just do that. Some people just collect snurfers. You can choose whatever you want. Some people just collect the boards that they used to ride when they were young. For me, I kind of collect a little bit of everything, as you can see. But my favorite stuff to collect are the old wooden burn boards. I was trying to think of what got me into collecting snowboards, and I was kind of thinking about it for a while. And really, I don't think that I really chose to collect snowboards. I feel like the boards found me. And I'll tell you a little bit of why I feel like that. So in 2015, some of my friends and I, we went to Utah, like on a snowboard trip. And I remember going to Brighton. And we went into the lodge, and I remember going down like the staircase or something, and they had a wall with all these old vintage snowboards. I'll add that picture so you can see it. I still have it. But I remember a couple of boards that caught my attention. And then one of the boards was this red Performer right here. And the other board was this Sims board right here. And the colors on this Sims board just caught my attention right away. But I didn't really think about collecting snowboards, but those boards always stayed in my mind. I always remember thinking, man, it would be awesome to own one of these old wooden burn boards. And then later in 2015, my friend Chi and I, we went to Maine to take like a snowboard building class. One of the guys that owned the farm there, his name was Mike LaVecchia. I think that was his name. And he had an old burn board that he showed us. For some reason, I remember it being a red Performer like this, but it wasn't. It ended up being an 83 backhill, just like this one right here. I do have that picture, I'll add that one too. After I saw that backhill, I remember thinking, man, that would be awesome to own that board. Like, those are such cool boards. The fins kind of just caught my attention. I didn't end up purchasing an old burn board, and I didn't start collecting. But one Saturday, I went to a garage sale, and I found this thing. So this is a burn safari. I went to look for other things at this garage sale, and by luck, this thing was sitting against the wall. So I left all the original stickers that the board came with. All I did was clean it up a little bit, and I waxed the board, but it still has the sticker right here that says that I purchased it for $20. So after that, I started to think, man, these old burn boards, they look really cool. And then just talking to my friend Ricardo, he used to collect snowboards, and things were just coming together. So that's why I feel like the boards found me. So my experiences seeing those old boards and then buying this Safari made me want to buy another old board. My second board ended up being this Performer right here. So I remember when I first got this board and I unboxed it, I was blown away by this board. And what blew me away was just seeing the old fins on it and just seeing that somebody handmade this thing right here. So just a really neat board. And I just remember thinking, man, what a time capsule this is. So after buying this board, that's when I got hooked on buying boards. So that's how I got into collecting snowboards, but now let me tell you why I love these old snowboards. And the main reason is because they're true time capsules. They tell stories. So the early burn stuff is my favorite because I collect a lot of the back hills, the backyards, and these Performers. And I can tell how each year Jake was advancing each board, and you can tell what he was thinking. And that goes for other board brands like Sims, Barfoot, all these different boards. One of my favorite things about these old boards are the modifications that people would do to their boards. So sometimes they didn't like the way the board handled, and they would change things and they would add their own touch. Because you have to remember, it was the early days of snowboarding. Some of the boards weren't designed perfect. But I'm going to give you an example of a board that was modified, and this is one of my favorite boards. This is a burn backyard. So normally this board right here wouldn't come with a front binding and a rear strap. There were two burn boards at the time. One was called a backyard, which is this board, and one was called a backhill. The backhill came with a front binding and a rear strap. But this board didn't bring that. This was the cheaper version. But this guy added those things to this board. So just being honest with you, this front binding that he made here is kind of a beefier binding than the stock one. And honestly, this would have worked better. I feel like this would hold your foot better. But I love that he did that. I love that he added his own sticker here. That's what he liked at the time. You know, some people would take this stuff off just to make it look original, but to me, I love this board the way it is. It's not unusual to see old boards like these burn boards without the fins, because the boards wouldn't turn very good. So it's not unusual if sometimes they're missing the fins. So for a lot of us, we love snowboarding. Snowboarding has changed our lives. I know it changed my life. I've met some of my best friends through snowboarding. It opened up my eyes to traveling. I really didn't do that too much. And my winters are much better. It's really changed my life. And when you collect old snowboards like this, you get to preserve history, and that's awesome. Now, one of my favorite things about going out to collect snowboards is the thrill of the hunt. So it's almost like when you see American pickers and they go to garage sales, they go to people's houses and they're trying to find treasure. That's how we feel when we're trying to buy a board. It can be stressful at times because you're like, oh, is this deal gonna happen? Is this deal gonna happen? But what it does, it's the best feeling ever. And you're bringing home something really special. When you go pick up these boards, you never know who you're gonna meet and what story they're gonna tell you. So some people might tell you, hey, you know what? I just found this at a garage sale or a flea market or in an attic. Or they might tell you they were the original owner of the board. Or it might have been like a relative of theirs. But most people will have cool stories. And if they were the original owners, they'll tell you, man, I used to ride this thing at this place or this place. And it's really, really cool. These old snowboards are really works of art. Just think about it. In the early days, these guys were trying to design what they thought was the best snowboard. And then once they got a shape, they added their own graphics, what they thought was going to be really cool and what was going to sell. But I love these old boards, and even new boards now, they're works of art. You can hang them and you can use them, but they're cool. I really believe that if you collect snowboards, you're going to understand snowboard history much better than somebody that's just seen pictures or reading it out of a book. When you can see it with your own eyes, when you can feel it, and you can understand what Jake was thinking at that time, it's very, very different than somebody that's just reading it. And if you're collecting every year, you're gonna really become an expert at this. You're also gonna meet really cool friends that are collectors, and they might know more than you do, so you're gonna learn a lot. I'm learning every day that I'm looking for boards and just seeing what people have. You're gonna learn every day. It's never ending. I asked one of my friends, Craig, why he collected snowboards, and he really said the same things that I was thinking. But he did say something really cool, and you know, my goal with the boards that I have, I want to make a room where I can display them, but I don't have that yet. But my friend Craig does, and this is what he said. One of the things that he really likes. He said, I like getting people down to my basement who don't snowboard and haven't been down there before. Some reactions and convos that flow through are so fun. So yeah, he's 100% right. Anytime I've shown one of these old boards to somebody, man, it just puts a smile on people's faces. So I'm trying to think what I can do with these boards. I did try to see if a local resort would want to display some of the boards and I could switch them out, but they weren't interested. But I really would like to do something like that, and I would like to display them in my house, but I would like to share them with other people. And that's really why I make these videos, because I want to show you guys these old cool boards. But I don't want people to forget about these old snowboards, because snowboarding, what we really love now, came from something like this Snurfer right here. I hope this video gave you a better understanding of why these vintage snowboards are so cool and why it is that we collect them. If you like this video, please hit the like button, please share it with other people that might like it, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.